Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having us today. We are here to talk about the Patient-Oriented Research Database Project and learnings from our patient-initiated collaborative journey. Just to introduce the team, my name is Brittany Schichter. I'm the project lead on this project. I'm also part of the BC Support Unit Fraser Center. Here with me today, we also have Ryan Fairbrother. He is our project coordinator, and Stephanie Chia, who's the manager of Reach BC. We also have Paul Bergner and Swapnil Shah in the audience. They will be available for questions after the presentation. And I'd also like to thank Belinda Jampo, who is our project manager for this project. So to get started, several years ago, a group of patient partners recognized that there was no comprehensive place to find patient-oriented research projects that were happening in British Columbia. In fall 2019, they presented a proposal to the BC Support Unit leadership. This proposal was for a patient-initiated project called Mapping Patient-Oriented Research in BC. The purpose behind this project was to increase transparency about projects happening in the province and to create opportunities for patients and other health research stakeholders to connect with like-minded teams. It could also serve as a useful resource to help reduce duplication, identify potential synergies, and potentially aid in measuring the effectiveness of patient engagement in patient-oriented research. Most importantly, though, this tool was requested by patients for patients. Over the following year, the project grew to include a map as well as a database of all current and past patient-oriented research projects in the province. The BC Support Unit allocated funds to make sure the project materialized, which led to me joining the team as the project lead and hiring Ryan as our full-time project coordinator. In this presentation, we will refer to the project as the Patient-Oriented Research Database. And now I'll pass it over to Ryan to talk a little bit more about the project.
So our vision for this project was that we would create a public-facing, easy-to-use resource that would help identify existing patient-oriented research projects that are taking place throughout the province, as well as organizations also conducting patient-oriented research, which would help allow for increased collaboration between both patients, unit staff, and these different organizations. In order to achieve this project vision, our team undertook an extensive consultation process with multiple stakeholders, which included individuals from the BC Support Unit Regional Centers, the BC Support Unit Provincial Hub staff, the presenting at the Putting Patients First conference, as well as the BC Provincial Patient Council, and we also had a consultation with Reach BC. From these consultations, a couple of recommendations and requirements were created. This included to create something such as a database of projects, which included a mapping component to see where these projects were taking place. This project could serve as an educational component, which would help showcase patient engagement strategies taking place on different projects, and that individuals from both, whether it be researchers, patients, or anyone accessing the map could learn about the different strategies that are being done to engage patients on different projects throughout the province. And this would also help and provide the ability to properly acknowledge patient partner contributions throughout different projects. Throughout the consultation process, there were also a couple of concerns that were highlighted specifically around sustainability, and a couple of these questions included things such as who's going to maintain this database? Where is it going to be hosted? Who is going to enter this project information? Once this information is actually entered into the database, how do we ensure that this is actually patient-oriented research and not just a regular research project? Do we need to hire developers to do this? How can we effectively market this resource so that it's actually used properly? And also, how do we evaluate the impact of this database as well as the map? And because of these questions, this was where the collaboration with Reach BC took place. So as I mentioned previously, we had an earlier consultation with Reach BC to learn about their experiences and their lessons that they had undertook while they were already an established platform and already capturing similar project information. As we went through that consultation, we also realized that there was a lot of synergy points between the two groups. And I'll have Steph just speak on some of the different reasons why, from a Reach BC perspective, this partnership made sense.
Right. So I met with Brittany and Ryan about last year, and we discussed the potential of hosting the patient-oriented research database on ReachBC, and it made a lot of sense for us at ReachBC as we had wanted to expand and enhance what we had on ReachBC, and including the patient-oriented research projects on ReachBC would really help improve the overall usability of our platform. But if for those of you who aren't really familiar about what ReachBC does, we are an online platform that helps connect British Columbians to health research opportunities. And the whole purpose behind it is really to raise awareness amongst the public about health research that's happening in the province and helping them get involved and join research projects, as well as assisting health researchers with their recruitment needs, finding study participants for their studies or patient partners for their patient-oriented research projects. And it's really quite simple how ReachBC works. It's really, if someone's interested in learning more about health research, they can come to our site, sign up as a ReachBC volunteer and create an account where we ask them information about their demographics, how we can contact them, and we ask them what are their health research interests, what they want to learn more about. And our ReachBC system will then automatically match them to health research projects that are in our database that we think they would match their eligibility and their interests. They read and learn more about the research project, and when they decide they want to get connected to the researcher, we will then facilitate that connection with the research team. So as Ryan mentioned, we already captured a lot of the research project information, but we were looking at expanding it. We had launched last year in we launched 2 years ago now, April 2020, at the beginning of the pandemic, but we knew that there were things that we wanted to improve about our ReachBC directory of all the projects. And right now, in the beginning, we had only shown the projects that we're currently recruiting or actively looking for participants or patient partners, but now we show both the currently recruiting projects as well as an archive of all past projects on ReachBC. And we've added in a visual map component to this search directory. We can now designate whether a study is like a flag for whether it's patient-oriented or not. And we have the ability to name patient partners as co-investigators. Researchers can also list any organizations or individuals who are collaborators, and they have the ability to share their research project results, any publications, or other knowledge translation outputs that they might have developed. We have the ability to share that through the ReachBC directory as well. And lastly, we ask researchers how many patient partners did they engage in their projects, and most importantly, how they were, researchers are able to share the number of patient partners who are engaged, and most importantly, how they were engaged on the projects. And that information is really both for the public, but also researchers who are conducting patient-oriented research to learn more about how other researchers are approaching it. So it's a lot of information I just listed, and I think the best way to for you to picture what it is to do a live demonstration of what that is. So I'm going to change screens now to show you the ReachBC site and how the patient-oriented research database looks on it. So now I'm on the ReachBC site, and I've gone to the Find Studies tab, which is where you'll find the directory. Scrolling down, we have a few shortcut buttons here. So if someone was interested in looking for COVID studies, they could click on this button. If they're interested in patient-oriented studies, this is how you'll get to the database. And we have a search bar here where someone could type in any health condition or topic, and we'll bring up all the results related to it. I'm going to click on the patient-oriented study since we're talking about the POR database. And we have a return of results of all the projects that are patient-oriented here. They show up on this list on the left, but also they have a pinpoint on the map here. And you can navigate either through the map by zooming in on a certain pinpoint to learn about a project, but you can also navigate on the left here on the screen. So right now, these results are all the currently recruiting projects, and we have a toggle here to get to the past studies. So now we're loading up all the projects that have closed. We have 33 results that show up here. I can use the filters here, which is what we worked a lot on together with Brittany Ryan to help someone narrow down the types of opportunities they might be looking for. If I was looking for what I was eligible for, I could put my age in here or location, but I also can search by research team information. So if I knew some information about the researcher, like what health authority they're affiliated with or university, I can choose that from the drop-down menu. An organization that might be involved in the research project, but if I have the researcher name, I can also type that here and the search results will get updated. So you can see we have the patient-oriented flag for these projects, and I also have a flag called results available, and I'll show you what that means. And I click learn more on this project. I'm taken to a summary screen of this research project, and it's basically gives you the details of what the study purpose was, what's involved with that project, where it's located, eligibility criteria, and then I also see who's conducting the research project. And project, it showed me previously that results were available, and so that's this tab here. When I click on project results, this is what the researcher entered for their results from their study, a lay summary of what they found out, plus how they engaged the patient partners on their team, and any study limitations. And if this researcher had any publications, we also give them the ability to share a link or download a file here. So I'm just going to go back to the presentation where Ryan will tell you a little bit more about the types of projects we have in the database.
Thanks, Steph. So currently what we used as a starting point was including approximately 33 either past or currently operating BC Support Unit funded projects as a starting point. And one of the reasons why we decided to do this was to help showcase the different capabilities of the new additions to Reach BC. And moving forward, different researchers, if they would like to include their project on the database, will be expected to upload their own information. And the way they would do that is they would end up creating a Reach BC principal investigator account, and then using some of the information that is there and using the instructions that are available on the site, they would also go and follow the instructions in order to upload a past patient-oriented research study. And we do acknowledge as well that at the moment, this is not a comprehensive list of every single patient-oriented research project in the province, although we want to create a good starting point so that people could come to the website, see the kind of information that we're displaying on here, and hopefully both the combination of being able to share results here, as well as their uploading their KT or their knowledge translation outputs, that this would help incentivize the use of this database, as well as the ability to see where projects are taking place in the province using the map feature. And the hope is that would increase the number of projects on the database.
So this was a really complicated and really enjoyable project to work on, but we did have a lot of reflections and learnings that we wanted to share with you. So through the course of the project, we did face competing priorities, issues with sustainability, questions around usability for groups with diverse needs, and reporting to multiple decision makers. So to successfully navigate this process, we consistently went back to our core patient-oriented research values and principles of compromise, flexibility, adaptation, and checking in with our key stakeholders throughout the process. This really allowed us to stay true to the original intentions of the project while adapting to an existing framework, which in this case was Reach BC. We are confident that partnering with Reach BC has now led us to a viable and sustainable solution, and we're happy to say that our key stakeholders agree. So in closing, I would like to acknowledge the originators of the patient-oriented research mapping project, Bev Pomeroy, Lisa Ridgway, and Paul Bergner, and the rest of the BC Support Unit Patient Council for trusting us with this project. Thank you to Reach BC for being flexible and open to collaboration. And finally, thank you to all of the individuals that provided input and feedback throughout the consultation and review process. For more information about this project in particular, you can contact me directly. My email is there. You can also contact Reach BC if you have any questions about adding your projects to the database or about Reach BC in general. You can contact Steph or the admin email there on the slide for Reach. And please check out the new Reach, the new features on Reach. It's really exciting. And thank you so much for having us here today.